what happened last night in Europa League. There was one particular interesting match that involved some devils like this. These devils, they can never rest. They'll just be going around looking for whom to devour. But they did not devour my peace. Ayo, did they devour your peace?
Not at all.
You
I'm
were
good.
you were fine. Uh-huh.
Ah,
So we'll
fantastic.
talk about those people in red, those devils in red. We'll touch a little bit on them today, and then we'll talk about the matches coming over the weekend. Some mouth-watering clashes. Atletico Madrid is facing Sociedad, and then um, Real Madrid is facing Villarreal. Yes, those big matches, and then that red team in Manchester United. We're facing Aston Villa. Good evening, everybody. All right,
Hmm.
so we'll touch on all the matches that are happening in the different leagues across Europe, and we'll let you know how we see those ones going. But before we do any touching, Ayokunmi, how can we be a part of the locker room this morning?
I'm glad you asked that question, Tega. So for all our amazing listeners out there, join us in the locker room by sharing your thoughts on WhatsApp. That's one way. The number remains 0809 444 0981. 0809 444 0981. We're also streaming live on YouTube at Smooth 981 FM Lagos, where the studio line also is available. We'll open that when we feel we need to. That is 0201 4489981 0201 4489981. Those are the ways that you can be a part of the excitement on the locker room this Friday morning. Okay, quick run through of the stories that are on the menu this morning. Golf survived scare to reach China Open semifinals. Senegal sacked AFCON-winning coach Aliou Cisse. Didn't see that one coming. Bayern faced tough Eintracht test after 2 games without a win. Company, what's going on? Milan's Morata moves house after Inter fan town mayor violates privacy. Porto and Manchester United after the 3-3 draw. Harry Maguire heads home injury time leveler. Conte plays down Napoli's title chances, playing mind games as usual. Ancelotti makes no excuses after Real's shock defeat at Lille. Excuse no. And Maresca says Chelsea on the right track as he juggles star-packed squad. Seems like he saw something that we did not when he was buying all the players in the
No,
world.
no,
But
no. He
anyways,
even he didn't see it. Even he didn't see it.
are
Remember,
you
he
sure?
wanted. He said he was training with only 25 players. The rest should go and look for their father, for their
Mind
real
games,
father.
mind games, mind games.
Only for the club not to be able to sell those players, and now he's using every single one of them. See life,
And it's working to his benefits, at
and
least
it's
for now.
working for his good. All right, so let's start from the very first.
Yes, the very first story talking about tennis. Coco Gauff survived the scare to beat Ukrainian qualifier Yulia Stradubtseva. Oh my goodness, my tongue in 3 sets and reached the China Open semifinals on Thursday. Tega, my tongue is, I don't know right now with that
Even, don't
Ukrainian name.
worry, even me, I'm just sticking with Yulia. You're the one who wanted to call long thing. But yes, Yulia has really made some massive strides in the WTA this season, but especially in the last couple of weeks. She took out all the big names you knew. And, the first one was a fluke. The second one, they saw her coming, but she was still taking people out. And she met Coco Gauff yesterday, and Coco Gauff understood why. She was able to take out some great players. She is a fighter.
Mm,
She chases down every ball and hits it into the court. And her service games, she doesn't give away too many mistakes. So Coco Gauff struggled. Coco Gauff, on the other hand, was struggling with her own serves. I think in one particular set, she had 7 double faults. I'm like, Coco, I thought
oh wow.
that's why we hired this new coach to work on your serves and your grip change. What's happening? But they just started working with the coach. So let's not hang him yet. Let's give him a while for the new ideas or new habits to take in. But
Mm,
yes, it was such a struggle, and but Coco God for herself is a fighter. And after she came out of this, she was like, phew. Because remember, after last year, when she did the American swing, she won her 500 WTA title, she won her 1000 Masters, and then she went
mm.
on to win the US Open. She thought this would be the year that she can build on that glory. Unfortunately, this has been like a 2 steps back year. So every fight now she goes into, she knows she's ready for battle, and yesterday was no different. So big struggle yesterday, but she was able to come out of it. Great one for her there. Sabalenka, smooth sailing. That one has been sailing smoothly since the Olympics. It's like Sabalenka Express. You can't stop it.
The juggernaut.
So the question is, who can catch up? That's the question we're asking now with Arina Sabalenka. She already has 2 Grand Slam titles this year. Remember, she won Australian Open before she finally won the US Open. And so she's the player to beat right now, and nobody's stopping her. On the men's side, we're watching the 1000 Masters Shanghai. Remember, Carlos Alcaraz and Yannick Sinner played the final of the China Open. They flew the same private plane to Shanghai just to meet up with this. And in fact, Yannick Sinner said he's not training. He already knows what to do. So he's not training. It's only Carlos Alcaraz that came out for training. Yannick Sinner is just sleeping because both of them play tomorrow. So no break. They used to say it's no rest for the wicked. I didn't know that it was no rest for the entertainers too. Tough one for the guys, but yeah, the fixtures are bad. The calendar is that tight, and since they're looking to build up momentum, it's understandable that both of them played in China, and now they are in Shanghai Masters just a couple of hours later. It's not even days, hours.
That is, let's say, work rate and dedication to to the sport as well. It can't be easy, playing all those games more or less back to back to back. But hey, they're professionals. I guess they can handle it to a degree. All right, let's keep it moving this morning on the locker room. Let's talk about some footballing stories here. And specifically, we're heading to Senegal, where Senegal have decided to part company with coach Aliou Cisse, who led them to their Africa Cup of Nations triumph in 2022 and the past 2 World Cup tournaments. Did you see this coming, Tega?
I didn't see this coming, but remember, Aliou Cisse has never really been the favorite at Senegal from the very first time. The good news for him was that he went on to win the AFCON. That was what saved him, because even in his country, right before he won the AFCON, even into that tournament, their journalists were already writing about sacking Aliou Cisse. He doesn't have I think it was the charisma that they were talking about. They weren't really complaining about the tactical genius yet. Notice I said yet. They complained later, but initially they're like, "Oh, he doesn't have the charisma. Aliou Cisse is kind of quiet. All that drama." And then he went on to win the African Cup of Nations. Won matches, took Senegal to being the best team in Africa. Everybody kept quiet. But in recent time, remember, from the AFCON where they crashed out early, right up to the World Cup, FIFA World Cup qualifiers and the AFCON qualifiers, they haven't really covered themselves in glory. Even the matches that they've managed to win, they've had successive draws in the last 2. But even the matches they've managed to win, it was a toil. And all the machetes, yes, all the machetes, all the daggers, and all the cutlasses came out again.
They've been waiting for him.
Yeah, they were waiting for him in front. And then you know how it is. He now gave the results, or the recent performance by the Senegalese national team now gave them the ammunition they needed to kick him out. So yeah, you'd say it's a tough way for them to reward a coach that brought them the kind of glory that he has brought them in recent years. But if you've been following all the drama and the politics in Senegal when it comes to football, you'd understand that this was coming. It was just a matter of time. So it's a sad one. I think he was the one that really made it, made a case for local coaches, because when a local coach goes out and does great things not once but consistently, you have to say maybe there's something there. So he did make a good case for local coaches, but like all local coaches, one day you'll be caught. And he has been caught. So
oh my goodness, one day you'll be caught. I like that one, Tega. Let's keep it within football circles right now, and let's talk about Vincent Kompany's Bayern Munich. They face inform host Eintracht Frankfurt in the Bundesliga on Sunday, looking to snap a two-game winless run in all competitions and get back on track. I mean, Bayern have been scoring goals for fun, but they hit a snag in the last two games.
Yes, and it's almost like people are saying, hey, we told you that this Vison company is not the guy. How can you bring a rookie like this? Again, I say this thing. It's like people are waiting for the excuse to say, I told you so. So Vison company went to Bayern Munich, and the question, it should be told, there were questions about his resume. How do you hire a jambite to coach a team? That's what we are calling them now. To coach a team like Bayern Munich, a team with tradition, culture, and there's so many coaches in Germany that you could have chosen. You went to pick Vison Company, a Belgian that coached in England. It didn't really make sense at the time, but he came in. The results started flowing. The goals started coming in, even if defensively they were always going to be questionable. But over the weekend, they drew in the Bundesliga, and then the big one on Wednesday night, they lost to a fantastic goal by Aston Villa. Nobody cares that Martinez saved several shots. Nobody wants to know. At the end of the day, when the final whistle went, the scoreline said Aston Villa 0. Oh,
One.
sorry, 1. Bayern Munich 0. That's
That's
all
all.
that counts at the end of the day. So back to back games without win, and already the pens and, well, we don't use pen anymore. The typewriters or the computers are started going with all with all the articles and all the analysis. And to make matters worse, he's going to face a team that is also solid defensively. So Frankfurt is that team that will frustrate most of your efforts. And that's where Bayern Munich has struggled. Again, or if you watch the Wednesday game, they looked so one-dimensional with the plethora of attackers that they had. The wingers, the strikers, they can score from anywhere. They looked so one-dimensional. They were always trying to go into the center. That road was blocked. It was a tough one. So the question is, how versatile can Company be with his team to get the results? But especially after that loss to Aston Villa, the tongues are started wagging. He needs to get a result this weekend to at
He
least
definitely
make the place, yeah, for some peace and quiet, just for
He
the weekend.
definitely does. He definitely, because Frankfurt to me an easy game. I mean, they're coming off the back of a 3-1 away win against Besiktas
It
in the Europa League.
it
So
is the toughest. They are the toughest teams. One of the toughest teams to score against. They will frustrate you and then hit you on the counter. And Bayern Munich, we know, when they are attacking, it's almost as if everybody is on one half of the field. So they are easily vulnerable to counter attacks. That's what makes Frankfurt even more dangerous.
it's going to be an interesting weekend. Let's take a quick breather right here on the locker room. When we come back in, we'll talk about Manchester United and what happened at the Estado do Dragão yesterday night in the Europa League.
I told my mechanic, do not call me before 9 a.m. I
Huh?
categorically said to my
Someone
mechanic, I'll be working. Do not call me before 9 a.m. I typed
and,
it out.
and he's
I
calling you.
said it. He's calling me.
Maybe you don't understand the English you spoke. Maybe.
Ha, ha. Simple instruction.
Well, what can I say? What can I say? True now, some people are very, very difficult like that.
As well. All right, any messages here, so we should just keep going.
There are 2 on WhatsApp. There are 3 on YouTube.
Okay, so we'll come with one from each and then give out the numbers again and then
Okay, we'll
carry
take
on
the
with the
story.
stories.
Okay. If you're just tuning in, you're welcome along to a ride into the locker room. This is Smooth 98.1. Love music, love life, and your love sports station as well. Ayokunmi here with you. Alongside me is Tega. We are taking a look at what's been going on in the world of sports in the last 24 to 48 hours as well. And we're looking to get your thoughts in on the stories we've been talking about this morning. Tega, welcome back into the show. Let's take one or two.
Let's take some messages here. All right.
Yeah. On YouTube, LK Aderoba says, any weapon fashioned against Eric Ten Hag shall not prosper. If he lost yesterday, he might have been sacked. So glad Man United drew another day for ETH. We pray he remains Man United coach forever. LK, you are flirting with blockage. That's what I would say.
And LK is making shakara now because his team is winning. We'll remind you.
Don't worry. You will meet us in front, LK, in front there at the bus stop. We'll be there waiting for you. Kusikol says, Maresca is using 25 players because he has two effective starting lineups. I'm still looking for the many players now. All right, thank you for that. Keep those messages coming in on WhatsApp. The number is 0809 440 981 0809 444 0981. The studio line is 0201 4489 981. You can also catch us on YouTube where we're streaming live at Smooth 981 FM Lagos. All right, Tega, let's talk about what went down at the Estadio do Dragão yesterday in Portugal. Harry Maguire rescued a dramatic draw for 10-man Manchester United after they had surrendered a 2-goal lead and had Bruno Fernandes set off in that game.
Yeah. So Manchester United, you know how they do it now. They first give you and then they collect. So they give you glass and then they collect both. It was ridiculous the way when they scored the first goal, I was like, this Manchester United, this is what they do. Give you high hopes. I did not finish speaking before Porto now scored. That first half ended 2-2 and they came in second half and took the lead. To make matters was like Bruno Fernandes likes red cards. So because they rescinded the one in the Premier League, he was like, let me take another one. Maybe he really needs a holiday. Maybe. Because I understood that he had every right to go for that ball. I understood it. The boot was high, but I understood that he had every right to go for the ball. But it was the way he flung his leg. It was wild. It was dangerous. So yes, second yellow. Every day of the week and twice on a Europa Champions League night. Sorry, it's Europa League. It's not Europa Champions League. There are no champions in Europa. Take a shot.
Wow.
Champions don't play Thursday night football.
Well played.
Okay. So it was a tough one, but after they went one man down, it was the way Porto was playing. I mean, with the numerical advantage, you're still trying to play on the counter. That was when to start pressing Manchester United, and really they could have even made it a 4-2 lead. Remember the save that the save that they had, Onana had to make after Porto had broken on a counter. So it could have been dangerous for Manchester United, but Manchester United were now pressing even if they were numerically disadvantaged. And so with one man down, those crosses kept coming in. There was a Gamacho chance that was saved by the goalkeeper. And then there was the eventual corner that led to Harry Maguire scoring the equalizer. And he celebrated it a little too much, but a celebration is a celebration. It's what's needed. When you imagine that your coach prefers De Ligt to you. I would say this about De Ligt. De Ligt does not know how to defend when people are running at him. And 70% of the time, as a defender, people are running at you. So I'm telling you, he doesn't know how to defend when people are running at him. He doesn't know how to defend when you cross the ball over him. So set pieces, corners, he's caught in the headlight. So what does he really defend? So he's really defending 20% of the time. It's now understandable why it was very easy for clubs like Bayern Munich and Juventus to say goodbye to him. Because he was shining like a bulb that was shining at 20%. So tough one for Manchester United, but they just needed some respite. And to have lost a 2-goal lead, coming away with a draw with 10 men, seems like good news for them.
It's cold comforts, really. I mean, not the first time a 2-goal lead will be surrendered. Remember the Champions League last season? Terrible stuff.
Yep, terrible stuff. So Tough one. And it doesn't get any easier this weekend. They face Aston Villa. So
It will not be a good
I just
evening
want,
at all.
I just, it has to be a good evening. It has to be good evening because you think about it, Aston Villa can play you dirty, but they now have this super sub called Duran on the pitch,
John
and Bayern
Duran.
Munich will tell you, and Bayern Munich will tell you a lot about him. But let me give you a small glimpse. This guy comes off the bench, and his purpose in life is to get the ball in the back of the net, whether directly by him or indirectly through an assist. So there's not going to be any break for any team facing Aston Villa right now. And Manchester United would not have wanted to see them. But unfortunately, the fixtures are the fixtures.
It is what it is. Come this weekend, we shall know whether or not Eric Ten Hag. Anyways, let me not even say too much. I'll keep it to myself. All right, let's keep it going, Tega. Let's talk about Antonio Conte. He has taken Napoli back to the top of the Serie A for the first time since they won the title in 2023. But he says while the fans can dream of regaining the crown, that he has to keep his feet on the ground. Mind games, perhaps?
No, he's doing the right thing. He didn't say the fans shouldn't believe. He said he has to keep his feet on the ground until the job is done, and that's the best way to hold it. If the fans believe, it means that they would, when they come to the stadiums, they will cheer their team with that belief, and they will put that belief into each match. They need that, so he's going about it the right way. You get carried away, me, I will stay focused, and he's the one that needs to stay focused. They play. I think Napoli played today against Como, Cesc Fabregas' team. Now, remember, Cesc Fabregas has gotten some interesting results in the Italian Serie A with his team, and he has a team of, well, pensioners. So experienced players that some teams led away, like Sergi Roberto and the rest of them. They are now in Como. If you're looking for them, that's a new pension home. That's a new retirement home. It's that you find your older players in Como, or you find them with Jose Mourinho in Fenerbahce. So those are the two places. So he has some great experience. And the good news about it is that they are playing in the Italian Serie A, where pace is not really the criteria. It's the
Right,
build up
right.
technically. So they're a good team and a solid team. And I think they shocked Atalanta earlier in the season. So it's a tough team to play against. And Napoli is going to be facing them this night. So I think Napoli has what it takes, of course, to completely destroy Como, but Como also has some X factor to make it tough for Napoli, and that's why Antonio Conte, like he rightly said, must keep his focus. Let the fans get carried away, but you and your team focus until you reach the end.
Definitely focus until you reach the end. And I mean, bearing in mind, it's only 6 games into a 38-game season. So everybody
Yeah,
should just
so
calm down,
just calm
relax,
down. You
take it
can't win
easy.
the league in November.
Unless they stop the count.
All right, let's take the next.
All right, let's talk about Carlo Ancelotti and Real Madrid. Now, defending champions Real Madrid failed to show the best version of themselves in a shock 1-0 Champions League defeat at Lille on Wednesday and must accept the criticism that comes their way. That's according to their manager, Carlo
I'm telling you,
Ancelotti.
the shock waves around the Champions League on Wednesday was so much. You turned to Bayern, they were losing. You turned to Real Madrid, they're losing. And it's the teams they're losing against. Those are not the fixtures. Remember, I was talking about these new fixtures not being interesting because there were too many 7-1, 4-1, 5-0. Only for Lille and Aston Villa to say, Tega, hold our Gatorade. And they just went at it. So Lille stunned Real Madrid. Look, there were too many mistakes in the Real Madrid play, and Real Madrid haven't been convincing. Forget the results; they haven't really been convincing in their plays. The thing is, they've just had the extra quality over most of their rivals to come away with the results, but they haven't been exactly convincing or brilliant. And so on a day like Wednesday night when they were not at their best and their stars didn't shine,
Mm.
it was more likely that they were going to lose. So they dropped points against Lille on Wednesday night, 1-0. That was a surprising one. I'm sure when they saw the draws, they would have thought that they'll get away with a complete score against Lille, but they didn't. But this weekend, they face Villarreal. in the La Liga. And that is a tough fixture by any standard. Because even when, Real Madrid always defeats Villarreal, the players know that they have to play better because Villarreal is one of those teams that can get scores against you. So it looks like, oh, Real Madrid haven't lost to Villarreal in a while, but Villarreal has also given Real Madrid something to think about. So they are one of those things that make you work for your results. And I think this weekend is going to be tough for them because Real Madrid now have a point to prove. That unbeaten run had to end at some point. But the fact that it ended against a team like Lille, with the display that they put out on Wednesday, I think they want to bounce back with a result. So I expect Real Madrid to still win this one. However, I expect it to be a tough fixture for them.
Most likely going to be a tough fixture. I mean, last time Real Madrid played Villarreal at home was a 4-1 win over Villarreal. That was in 2023, if my memory serves me correctly.
So they will win, but they'll be made to work for it this time.
Might not be the most easy thing for them, but hey, let's keep our fingers crossed. All right, let's talk Chelsea. As Chelsea boss Enzo Maresca says, he's working hard to keep the players in his huge squad happy, but the feeling is good ahead. Okay, that was ahead of the game against Ghent that was played in the Europa League on Thursday. They won 4-2.
So they won 4-2 in that game. So defense still questionable. Defense still a little questionable. But you also have to remember that the team was a mix of players that haven't played before. Like Chelsea has literally two EPL teams, if you ask me, because their second string team is quite enviable if you look at it. It can be a whole new EPL team entirely. And so he was able to rest a lot of players. Palmer will be very happy over the weekend because Chelsea, I think they're facing Nottingham Forest.
Yes.
So Nottingham Forest is still looking for win. And Chelsea is scoring goals aplenty. I know Nottingham Forest did one over Liverpool. The way they contained the Liverpool attack, and then they scored that one goal and they went away with 3 points. So they shocked Liverpool. But Maresca saw that result. And Chelsea players also saw that result. I'm not sure they are going to be cut out like Liverpool was cut out. All right. So, but the good news for Maresca is that he had the opportunity to rest his first team, some of his first team players, and he was playing the likes of Dewsbury Hall, and the rest of them. They had the opportunity to play, and he's managing that squad very well because he has competitions aplenty, and now he has players aplenty. So where teams like Arsenal and Manchester City and Liverpool have to stretch their squad to compete in Carabao Cup, FA Cup, UEFA Champions League, and Premier League, Maresca has two teams. He'll be like, okay, two of you people will play Premier League and maybe FA Cup. The rest will play Carabao Cup and Europa. Like he has options.
The work around.
He's just this is a beautiful place to be if you're Maresca. Even if initially he didn't want it, but ultimately he's been forced to use that large locker room. So at the end of the day, he's the one laughing last.
He's the one laughing last. But will he laugh best? Now that remains to be seen at the end of the season.
We'll find out in March.
We can't wait. All right, let's take messages as we round up on the conversation. AY from Minoru says, after Bruno Fernandes got himself sent off last night, after literally executing a classic Tai Chi kick, I think I've come to the conclusion that Chris Kavanagh, the referee who sent him off on Sunday, versus Tottenham, made the right decision, and the English FA shouldn't have intervened to rescind the red card. He did what
that
he
was
did.
Not a red card. That was not a red card. It shouldn't have been given.
Different situation entirely.
Shouldn't have been given.
Emeka says, why will Maresca struggle to keep his large squad happy? The squad is so large. I heard the locker room isn't enough to contain all of them. Some players even change and shower outside. Let's be calming down, please. Let me take a few on YouTube. We really gotta go. Big Mayor says, Tega, your mechanic called because he wants to taunt Ayo. Please pick up. All banter loud, no prejudice. Big Mayor, you and LK, let's make a blockage. And Uche
exactly. Says, soon, very soon.
Man United, when it rains, it pours. How professional footballers concede the kind of goals we allow, yet somehow we'll be blaming ETH. Players earn so much, yet do nothing. It's pathetic. Sad one, Uche. Don't worry, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. It'll be good. Anyways, we really need to thank Tega, so much.
On that note, I want to thank you for sending your messages to YouTube and streaming us via YouTube. I want to thank you for sending your messages through WhatsApp and tuning into Smooth 98.1 FM to listen to the locker room. This weekend is going to be big. So please, while you are enjoying it, pray that your team is not fodder for banter. Have a great one.
Have a great weekend, Tega. Thank you as always. And thank you all for sharing your messages with us on the locker room. Keep it tuned to Smooth 98.1. 9 o'clock Lagos. We're going to get into a conversation on Lagos Talks.